Hi, Miguel.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Great, thank you.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm so happy to have you here, honestly. Like, you are the first person that I interview that I know I worked with by the past.
Right, yeah.
Having you today is honestly so good. I'm so excited about this interview. Tell us about what you do, how it all started, and give
Okay.
us a little bit of your background.
Hi, everybody. My name is Miguel. I go by Film of Mine on all my socials. I'm a film photographer. I do a little bit of creative directing for a few of my friends. I'm a creative all around. I make clothes. I scribble. I like to over prepare for my shoots. I live on Pinterest half at a time.
Can you walk us through how it all started for you? When did you get that breakthrough? Like, this is what I'm gonna do.
Okay. Well, it kind of started, well, it's more of so like a mustard seed, like something so small. I took my Comtech class in high school, and that was in grade 10, like back in 2015. And we learned about everything Adobe, how to edit photos like Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere Pro. That was like the whole class, and I'm like, I want to do this. Like, this is cool. Like, I feel like I can progress at this. I did apply to a art school. Ended up not getting accepted, which was all right with me. And I kind of like, I was heartbroken for a little bit because I'm like, okay, I guess I gotta let my dream go. I applied to be like a graphic designer, but it just didn't end up working out. So now I have a day job. I'm a diesel technician. I've been doing that for, I want to say 6-7 years now, straight out of high school. But sorry, I'm getting off track. And then that spark came back February 2nd, 2020. It was a mutual agreement between me and a friend who wanted to start his music journey. The agreement was he's the artist and I'm his photographer. If you go on my social media, it's like the first post ever. It was, I believe we were at a bus terminal in St. Catharines, took a picture through an app, Dazcam, and it kind of gives this like film emulation. My good friend Thelonious, I remember this day very vividly. I came over his place. He handed me $300 cash, and he told me, go get yourself a camera. And that's how it started. He's like, if you need more money, then obviously just, take it out of your own pocket. So that's how we started. Me and him, we've been working since 2020. But even prior to that, I knew him since high school days. And then we just reconnected back again in 2019, 2020, just right before the pandemic. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. Honestly, I owe him my career. Like, big love to that guy. Shout out to him. That's my brother for real.
Yeah, it's such a great memory for you. It's gonna follow you like forever.
Yeah, we motivate each other, you know what I mean? Like, we push each other to get better. And as hard as he is with his criticisms, so am I. But we support each other in every way we can.
That's great.
Yeah.
I need to explain a little bit how we met, because we worked together twice, and this today, you're just not behind the camera. You're just in front of the camera.
I'm in front of the camera for once.
Exactly. That's a different experience. But when we met, it was from a mutual acquaintance.
Yeah.
I had a very special request. I knew what I wanted. I had that vision. I need to find someone. I was new in Toronto at that time.
Yep, I remember.
And I didn't know
people
much. I didn't know anyone, any artist. I wanted to make connection. And I just asked someone I knew, someone I met at a party. And I was like, okay, I have this vision. I want to find someone who is working with film camera. Do you know anyone? And this person referred your work to me. And I just reached out to you, and you clearly understood what I wanted. We set the date, we set the hour, and boom, we just made it happen.
We made it happen.
I'm just curious, is it always that simple to work with you?
Yeah, because, my thing is, why complicate it? And again, I always ask my my client or collaborators, what's the look that you're going for? I'm a visual type of person, so I need you to put like a mood board for me or send me some sample photos just so that I can get the vibe. Because as much as you can explain it, if I see it, I'm like, okay, done, no problem. Like I know what I need. And behind the scenes, it's a lot more, there's a lot more preparation. And I think throughout the years that I've been doing it, I kind of learned how to put more time in pre-production. If I were to do a shoot outdoors, especially with the time that the subject wants to shoot, so like let's say 4 or 5 p.m. would be completely different than shooting at 11 a.m.
Yeah.
So I have to find a certain place where the sun hits it in a certain way. But all of that is taken care of through me. Like, I'm not gonna put my collaborators or the subject through that. I don't think it has to be complicated. You know what I mean? Unless you're shooting for something really grand, like where you need special access to locations and certain props. But I mean, all of that can be figured out. You know what I mean? I always have this mindset where things can be figured out, right? Like, yeah, okay, things will cost money. It's just how bad do you want to get the vision? We work really well because we're both artists in a way, and you're like, you want a certain look, and so do I. I want a certain look with my work as well. So I understand where you're coming from, right? And the thing is that you knowing what you want, I would rather have to deal with that than you, like, you telling me it's like, hey, keep in mind it's this side of my face rather than the other side. Like all the little things, I'd rather deal with somebody that knows what they want than somebody that does not know what they want. Because then I'm just guessing and I'm just shooting blindly in a way, and it kind of makes my job a little harder if they don't communicate. So I think open communication is very important as well. And again, it makes things just go smoother.
How easy it was for you over time to build that network of people who like to just love your work enough to recommend it that way?
Okay, I'm a homebody. I do not like to go out. When I do go out, it's in certain places, and usually it's very intentional. If I were to meet somebody, it'll be purely for business. Like, I try to keep my personal side of things out of it, because for me, it's a business thing, right? And I understand, like, people want to connect and be friends with you. That's one thing, but I'm not gonna go hang out with somebody every day. Like, even my good friend Theo, we don't talk every day, we don't hang out every day, but we're really good friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that acquaintance that you mentioned, I knew him through my friend's manager, Theo's manager at the time. Yeah, so I guess you could say it's word of mouth. But at the same time, my main goal was that the quality of the work is what's gonna get me hired. It's not necessarily who I know or who's in the picture. A lot of people are like that. They pop off because of who's in the picture, and then you see their previous posts and work, and it's just like, okay, like, it doesn't make sense. But like, for me, like, consistency throughout the work and quality, that's always my priority. I've done a lot of work through just like people. I look at them and I'm like, you really match the vibe of this project that I'm currently working on. Are you interested? And then maybe we can talk about it more. But yeah, I don't really network like that. It's more so like people talk about my work, and again, just word of mouth. Word of mouth. I try to utilize social media as much as I can. I'm not the TikTok person to make reels and do like a day in a life.
Yeah.
It's just not for me. Maybe it is for me, and I just haven't found a way that I like to do it. Because again, people are like, you have to utilize it more and more and more. But I'm like, you have to learn how to turn that into sales as well. I think I'm doing pretty well for myself.
That's great. To say it about, it's not trying to shoot the right people that are gonna get me there. And I like that. It's powerful, man. Because that means you can can pretty much do whatever you want if you keep that consistency.
Like, why cage yourself? You know, like, why put yourself in a box when the world is already hard enough on you and judging your work and whatever? You have to have trust in your vision, right? I mean, like, it's in the same way in the fashion industry. Like, a lot of these people that are up there, like top models, it's just somebody that they found on the street. Like, like, it's not, I don't mean to make that sound like a bad thing, but there's a lot of beautiful people, and it just, they just so happen to be in the right time and the right place.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, you're walking the runway tomorrow. You know what I mean?
I actually know someone like that. Sometimes it's just that easy, but it's changed too, right?
Yeah,
there's a part of it that
it's
is
luck,
changed.
it's fate, yeah.
Like luck, yeah,
Yep.
definitely. There is one subject that comes back often in your work, and I'm pretty sure that's the person you mentioned.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to pronounce it well. Thelonious?
Yeah.
Thelonious, right? Who is a musician?
Yeah, he's a rapper, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a
Could you
rapper guy.
Could you like tell us and walk us through your relationship with this artist, and especially just your involvement in the music industry, and what opportunities came along with it actually?
Okay. Where do I even start? Oh my goodness. I met him through high school. We had physics class together. He was, believe it or not, like, if you know him now, you wouldn't think that he was the quiet guy in high school. But now he's obviously, gained the confidence, and which is very crucial for a music artist. We reconnected back in 2020, and ever since then we've been locked in, I guess you could say. It's always been like, we have to be better than than our previous projects.
I love that.
Right? He has his own work, and so do I. But he has more connections than I do. In the sense of, he's a very outgoing guy, and he can talk to anybody down the street. I'm not that type of person. He's helped me really grow as an artist, to venture out. There was a point where I'm like, I don't want to talk to people, but I have to. So what we had done was, me and him have went out and just walked around downtown, like Christie Pitts Park, around those areas. And I guess he was there for emotional support in a way, but I would ask random people that I found interesting.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, can I take a quick 1-2 portrait of you? And that's kind of how I gained my own confidence as well. So it's just both of us, I guess, pushing each other to be better people, better artists. And we don't let our friendship, like, we have this good boundary of letting our friendship be our friendship, and a business side of it, just like, we know how to work together without the personal stuff getting in the way, which I think is very hard to find these days. In the music industry, people are always looking to shoot, just for an Instagram post, or somebody's actually maybe like looking to book me for cover art shoot. We were both in the Remix project. Remix project has like these like subcategories of artists. So there's photographers, painters, DJs, producers. There's people that make clothes, all kinds, right? Obviously, you have to apply and go through this like vetting process. But I got in the year before him. There were a few times that I was there, and I did make the connections that I think, I needed to make, and I still support the people that were there in my round in however way I can. But yeah, like people liked my work, and I was hoping to, get better and utilize their facilities. You can book studio time.
Yeah.
And, as you know, studios, they cost a fortune sometimes. But they have equipment there for you as long as you book the space. You can, you're welcome to do any work there as much as you can. And I was part of that program, and then the year afterwards, it was he got in, but people already people were walking up. The funny part was people were walking up to him. He's like, "Oh, you work with Film of Mine," or like because usually it's the other way around in the sense of I work with Theo or Thelonious, but like this time around it was the other way around. It's like, "Oh, you work with Film of Mine," which was kind of funny, and like, but people recognized my work, well, his face on my work, and like having that correlation is kind of it's kind of cool to see. And, yeah.
Especially when it's a good association. Like,
Yeah.
like especially when you guys are working together and like you're working on elevating each other as artists. Like that's so powerful.
Every project, every single project, we aim higher. Like, you know what I mean? Like I think we've come to a point where, we are getting older. But I think we found our team, our people, and it's not fun. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of pressure. Especially, well, at least for me, like in these past 2-3 weeks, because I go so much into detail for my pre-productions. He's recently appointed me as his freaking, sorry, pardon my language, as his creative director. Officially, I guess you could say, but as if I haven't been doing that for like the past 5 years. But it is what it is.
It's official now.
Yeah, it's official now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been, like a lot of the things that we need. I'm a phone call away, and so is he, because there's a lot of things to get done. I was speaking about my relationship with him to one of my clients, and he was seriously amazed about how fast our turnaround time is on things, just on everything really. We not and again, we don't sacrifice the quality of the work. It's just that we know how to get it done. Me and him have this weird formula where he'll tell me something the night before, like really late the night before, or like early in the morning, and I'll call him by 9-10 p.m. and, hey, did you get it? Like, it's done. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's hard to find. And like that client was like, that's really fast, and that's very impressive, because usually people take days or weeks to return something to you. And but like, if you're trying to build something together, why prolong it?
Yeah.
Like, I understand people are busy, but you gotta have the work ethic if you want to make it.
That I feel like that mindset that both of you guys share and live with, the fact that you align on we gotta make the work ourselves and also elevate each other to like make the work together. This is like, there's no limit to how far you can go like this.
I guess the competitiveness of it comes in. Like we used to play in the same basketball team, like for our high school. So like we're very competitive in that way. I try not to compare myself with other people because, I'm sure people are inspired because of me, but I allow myself to be inspired by other people, and I have lots of respect for anybody that's even out there trying, because everybody knows that's in this industry, it's hard. People will ghost you, and things are not always going to go your way, and it's hard in general. But me and him, we have we've leaned on each other many times. Yeah, that's my brother for real. Like we're always working, but I think these days our bonding time, it's always been like that. But we've always watched movies together. It gives us time to catch up, and at the same time, we have an activity to do, and we judge the whole movie just because that's who we are.
I love that.
But yeah.
You had the chance to exhibit your work recently. It was for Public Display Agency,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
How well did it go for you? Was it your first exhibition, public exhibition of your work?
I guess you could say the second. The first time around it was a friend's event, and they were looking again. They were looking to showcase artists. So in that first event, there was like a whole fashion show going on. There was performances going on, dancers, singers, rappers. There was that. There was I guess you could say like a little gallery on the walls. It was like more so like a friend thing. I saw all of my friends and all of my other friends that did other creative things. They were all there. This time around, I guess it was a little bit different. Well, it's a whole lot different because, I have my own space, like a dedicated booth for myself, with the intention of, showing off my work. It did go really well. Like a lot of people really liked my work, and it wasn't. I did have some prints for sale, but that wasn't really the goal. Like the goal was for me to get my name out there,
Yeah.
or at least more so in the city, and it was a very diverse crowd. There was older people like 40s, 50s, and all the way to young teenagers that were there. Speaking of, these are the work. A few of them at least. I guess I'll start with this middle one here. That project was titled Last of the Blues. I guess I was thinking about it more so in the winter blues, where I'm like, can it be summer already? You know what I mean? Like it's just like the home stretch. Like we're almost there. We're almost there.
Yeah.
Like it's still snow outside, but we're almost there.
Yeah. I think a lot of people in Toronto get that feeling.
That's kind of what inspired it, and I'm like, she has to be in some kind of a swimwear or summery outfit. For that part of the project, I was thinking of sirens or mermaids in a way.
Yeah.
But I wanted it to look very blue, right? But outfit wise, like styling wise, I wanted it to feel like summer, but the color palette would be blue. Anticipating feeling of summer, but it's still winter. We did that same shoot in that same studio we went to actually. Yeah, this shoot was I did this over there.
Really nice studio, by the way.
Yeah.
Can you remind us the name of the studio?
Studio is called Mild Studios. I think they were just running ads on Instagram, and I found them through there, and a really affordable price.
Yeah.
I believe so, especially with all the equipment that it comes with. Okay, like everybody knows, like carrying equipment is not fun, and at the same time, it does cost a lot of money. At least the good equipment, right? And they all have it there, ready for you. It's all accessible, and you can make yourself comfortable and have fun. So these two on the side, they're actually a trilogy that fit the bigger one here. Project was called On the Other Side. It was inspired by, I guess at the time I was very heavily into Tarantino films. My favorite ones, whatever. But I really like the way how he rewrites history, right? Like for example, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is one of those stories where people are familiar with the story, but he puts his own twist to it. In that thinking, I came up with this. On the other side, it was in my head, what is a black woman's life would be in the 60s if it was flipped, right? Because, as you know, like racism thing was a very heavy topic then. And there was no such thing as black women being in these nice clothes and having pearls or even having jewelry in general. I did my research and, I just switched their places. And, and we came up with this, this photo shoot. It went really well that day as well. And I think I got really lucky with the location. It was actually a friend's little basement. And again, he's been my friend well, I knew him from high school as well, and he turned out to be like a very hippies 90s junkie, and like junkie in a way of like furniture wise. Sorry, I might have worded that wrong. Like black and white TVs. Was the funny thing about that is that you can watch Netflix on that TV.
No way.
Yep. I'm like, he told me that. I'm like, there's no way. You have to prove it. So I'm like, this is like the perfect spot to do it. I told her the idea, and she was, more than happy to execute it with me. I think we ran through like 3 different outfits that day, but this one was one of my favorite ones. But what's funny was that I got that gallery opportunity because of this project. Like it speaks to my core values in the sense of having like the quality speak for itself, right? And the fact that, again, I'm still getting opportunities because of my old work. It proves my theory correct.
That's kind of the idea of also going to shoot together came from some work you did in the past with someone.
Right.
And like I was looking for a specific idea with that bright circle behind me. I don't even know if I expressed it that way, but I knew it would be something like that. I knew how I wanted to look. I knew the feeling, the sense I wanted to bring on that picture. And like you just projected what I wanted with a previous work of yours. And that was perfect. Like the way you just showcased what you were able to do, and it matched it right away because I knew it was what I was looking for.
I mean, like those are like one of my favorite interactions. I always smile when people ask, well, not ask, but like when people want to work with me, and I ask them like, what look are you looking for? Like, what kind of look are we going for your photo shoot? And next thing you know, I'll get notifications, and it's my own work that they want to redo. Again, people have like misconception in the sense of like somebody really liked this project, and they're like, hey, how much would it be to do the shoot? And I gave them a number, and they're like, what? That's ridiculous. I'm like, well, you got to look into the clothes that they're wearing, and at the same time, look where I'm shooting it. People, it doesn't register to people like that. That all of that is you have to account for all of that. And this is just like a personal project, right? And this is more so like, this is what I can do if you were to give me the proper model, the proper location, right? And that's kind of the goal, is to have, be like, kind of have somebody be like, hey, I want to do this. But it is what it is. It's part of the game.
These are portraits, but when we look deeper into your work on Instagram, at least, there's a wide spectrum of like portraits, moments of life. You even shot racing.
Yes.
Racing cars.
Yeah.
There's also a marriage proposal. I've seen that too.
Like you did your research.
I had to.
So that proposal. Oof. Okay, so I photographed that couple when I was starting off. When I started shooting film, actually, because I didn't start. I started off with a digital camera, and I think there was one summer. I believe it was 2021. It was summer 2021. I sold all of my digital cameras. And with that money, I bought 2 film cameras. And I'm like, okay, I just have to, I don't know what I'm doing, but I just have to shoot. And just like, see what settings work. And as much as I can watch all the YouTube videos out there, you just have to do the work. So I was trying out street photography. And that's what I was doing. I was just walking around downtown one sunny day, and they happened to be there laying on the grass. And I took, more of a wider photo of them. And then I'm like, okay, this looks really good. Because at the time, the cherry blossoms were out. So I'm like, 2 minutes. Can I take a quick portrait of you guys? took a picture of them, and then got their social medias, whatever. Years passed, and he messaged me, and he's like, "Hey, I think like I'm gonna propose. Like, are you able to do it?" And we discussed pricing, and we set up a date. The time, first time I had encountered them, I had shorter hair, and then I grew my hair at the time of their proposal, and she didn't even know who I was, and we did that proposal just on the Sunset. I forgot the location, but it oversees the CN Tower, and they were very happy.
I think that's Riverdale Park.
Yeah, Riverdale
Yeah.
Park. Yeah,
I've
that's the
been there.
one. That's the one. And I was, I was more than happy to do it for free, but I was gonna do it just for the story of it. I'm like, this is so cool. Like, two strangers that I had photographed 2 years ago now wants me to shoot a proposal, like like the proposal, and I'm like, that's such a full circle moment for me, and I was very, fulfilled, and I'm like, this is what it's about.
This is so cool to see what your work is giving you 2 years after, and like how it comes back to you in a way.
Yeah. Again, it was very full circle. Like, even then, like at the time, like, at least my mindset then, again, I was just asking strangers for photos because like, street photography was great for me. Like, it really helped me get out there in the sense of talking to people and like not caring what people think. Because I would just photograph somebody in their face in a very rebellious way. Like, I won't ask for permission. Like, because for me, it's like, it's so awkward. Like, I'm just like taking pictures and like people are looking at me. But in reality, no one cares. No one cares what you're doing.
They won't remember you in
like they'll look at you for 5 seconds, 3 seconds as they walk by you, and that's it.
When you're not being booked by someone, how do you select the moments where you just feel like you're up to taking pictures with your cameras?
Well, the thing is, I don't always walk around with my camera. I guess that's kind of why I've like slowed down on releasing my work. I've obviously in the beginning, and when I was starting out, I'm everywhere with the camera, and whenever I had decided that I don't want to bring my camera, I'm like, I should have brought my camera.
Yeah.
So I'm like, from that moment on, I'm like, okay, I'm bringing my camera everywhere, even if I don't use it or just take 1 or 2 photos, that's fine. But it's something. But these days, I'm not always with my camera. I'm more intentional with my work. There are days where I'm like, where it does feel like work, and I don't want it to feel like work. Because it started, like, for me, it started off as a hobby, and as much as, yes, I would love to make a career out of it, but as of right now, I'm not there yet, and I'm still trying to enjoy the process of being just a photographer. And I do get hired here and there, but that's one thing. It's different when you're consistently doing it, like when you're doing, like, that's your job. Still want to have the enjoyment of like picking up a camera. But like, I have a quick like little point and shoot that I carry with me on the weekends. If we're going somewhere new, or again, it doesn't always have to be something special, like something so mundane as chilling somewhere in the park. Like, it's not just always about capturing beautiful portraits like these. It's more so like, you have to document your life as well. You know what I mean? It's not, and then like when you really think about it, it's much bigger than you, because outside of that, it's something that you can show your friends and family, and your kids down the line. Is like, hey, this is what your dad was doing at this date.
I love it.
You know what I mean? We were chilling at a park, or we were having a barbecue, and just having the memories, right? Like, as much, like, because the way I think about my work is like, if somebody dug this up in like 2089 and I'm not here anymore, you know what I mean? And they're like, who's this? What is this? Right? You think about it that way as well. Like it's the same way we look at our like grandparents' photos when they were younger and still able to walk without a cane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like, whoa, like you used to look like that. Just, you know, you have to document your life. I think it's very important. I try my best to print out my photos, like even just the memories, because you know we're losing recipes here. Like there's no more like photo albums. Like I had photo albums when I was growing up. And,
Same thing.
so,
My mom used to like not force me, but she would ask me, "Oh, by the way, did you like start your photo album? Like, did you?"
Yeah.
Because we had those little cameras,
Of
you know.
course.
I actually shipped them in Toronto with me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Now
nice.
they're in a box, but like
Yeah.
it was so cool to have that. Like it's a part of my origin. It's part of where I'm coming from. It's there with me. Like it's memories. You don't obviously go through it every single day, but once you do it, it just reminds you of a good moment, and that's what matters.
Exactly. Like you know, it's very different when you're looking at a photo on a phone rather than a physical copy of it. Like even these ones, when I was printing them out, I'm like, wow, like this looks really good. It doesn't have to be something special every time as well. Like you have your phone with you, you know, take photos of things that you like, and that's what I do. Like it's, you know, like if I don't have my film camera with me, I just use my phone. It's like, oh, this is a cool spot. Like I want to remember this. Like this restaurant is cool. They have really good seafood, calamari, whatever. You know, save it on your phone.
Is there any project you're working on right now?
Too much. I'm working with my friend at the moment, and we still have a few things to get done. Again, we just finished off shooting like 12-hour days of a music video like this past weekend. The creative directing for him is tough. Like, you know, it may not look like I'm doing much on set, but it's like so hard on your body as well. Yesterday, I went home and I showered, I had dinner, and I was gone. Like I slept all the way through the night. We got that going on. I'm working on some merch for him. And we probably have another like music video to do. For me personally, I have a project coming up. I have it all like ready to go in the sense of idea where I want to do it. As of right now, the only thing I'm missing is who's going to be in front of the camera. Maybe I'll incorporate some video work with this project, but it's mainly going to be like photos. The only thing with me is I love shooting outdoors. I'm not the biggest fan of studio work, but I get it done when I have to. That's the price I have to pay for living in Toronto, for having winter time. I can't, like, yeah, okay, I can do shoots outside, but in my head, the idea just doesn't fit the winter weather.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
for
like
about 6 months.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, I have to wait all this time to shoot a summer idea that I have. I have to get used to shooting in the studio. So I'm forcing myself to do so. And, you know, like it'll help me down the line as well. Like if, you know, commercial work and everything like that, they like to use studios. So I have to be comfortable in that space and handle my own. I'm planning on doing that in the next month or so. Again, I just got to find the right face and talent to do it. So far that's about it. I'm taking my time more, like, because before I would be like, okay, I have to do 2 things, like 2 shoots or 3 shoots in a month. But again, you kind of have to slow down for your peace of mind as well. And like, you know, because then if you focus on one project for a little bit longer, I feel like you can elevate it from what it was initially. When we did our photo shoot, my last photo shoot was like a year and a half ago. It was kind of like perfect timing because, you know, my friend Thelonious was telling me about his project coming up and how he needed work done and how he needed photos and whatever. And then you gave you DM me, and I'm like, you know what, this is, I guess I considered it a warm up, and I'm like, okay, like let's get back to it. Most of the time I don't feel like doing it, at least these days, but you just have to. Like, you have to force yourself. And well, the part that I love the most is the fact that I haven't shot that long, but I still have it. Like I still have the eye for it, and I still have like the work ethic to do it. I can go so much further with this thing if I'm not so lazy.
Well, let's not forget that you have a day job that a lot of artists have to go through this phase. So you can only give your personal work and your passion the time that you have left.
Yep.
And you also have to eat, sleep, sometimes get a little bit of fun, right? Go out. I don't know. We're all different with that, but I've met like artists who barely get some sleep. Like, they finish their day job, which is already a crazy job with a crazy position, and then they do like a quick 15-minute break, and then they just get started with their personal project until 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and then
do it all over again. It's a cultural
100%.
thing, because well, mind you, I migrated here as well from Philippines a long time ago, like 2012. I noticed the way of life. I've had a phase like that a couple of years back, 2-3 years ago, but then you face, like, it really messes you up mentally, and like you just go through, you're just burnt out, where you just don't want to deal with people, and you just want to sit in your room with your phone off for like a week or two because you don't want to deal with anything. I kind of had to tell myself, like, okay, like, I think I got sick. I'm like, okay, like, you need to control this somehow. Let me take a break. And then now I'm doing more like, we'll do one shoot a month or one shoot in 2 months. Again, quality over the quantity. I think it's always better to over prepare than come empty-handed to a set. It's a thing with the industry where, you get 4 hours of sleep. But like, it's part of it, right? Like, on shoot days is a different thing. But preparing, I take my time. I prepare very early. Because then, instead of rushing everything and trying to make it all fit in 4 hours, I can chop it up and do an hour of work. After your day job, you spend 1 hour of it and you chop it down for the week, and that's, you're finished. It's different when things are in a rush and be like, we have a deadline to meet. That's completely different. But yeah, I tend to, pace myself, I guess you could say. Just have to develop a system that works for you. I think I've got that now, and I've done multiple. You try different methods, of course, but I think I found my system. There was a time where it did feel like a job, but that was when I was just like double booking everything, things like that. And then, of course, like, that's very different when you're doing that, and you're kind of like just doing it to yourself. You know what I mean? Like, at least for me, it's more like entrepreneurship in a way where it's not like you're going to get booked for 3 shoots. Like, if you're up there, yeah, okay, like, you'll get like 3 shoots, 5 shoots a week. But, but if you pace yourself and you book 1 shoot a week, and even if it's still like net 30 for the payment, like, you'll be okay. 1 shoot a week would be, if you charge a decent enough money, you can make a living out of it.
It depends also on your studio and how famous.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, fame does come into play as well. But to be completely honest with you, I'm not the one to be for interviews. I'm not the one to be in front of a camera. My girlfriend had to push me to do this. It's like, I'm very nervous. But the thing is,
coming here today?
Yeah, but the thing is, she notices how passionate I get when I talk about my work. And she's like, like you shouldn't be keeping all of this. Like it's nice to have that moment with her, but for her, she's like, this is something, like people would like to hear your story in a way. So, she's like, you'll be okay. Go. Just go and do it.
I'm so glad you got that advice. It's a good exercise. We're not given the time, or we're not given the space for that too much. As a visual artist, I would have loved talking about my work and do the reflection on my work at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
And kind of reconciliate with, oh yeah, when I was younger, that's the vision I had. Now it changes and it's fine. And I know where I'm going. I want people to know it and get inspired and inspire other people. That's how it is. That's what it is.
The thing is, I didn't want to do it because I'm like, who am I to be doing an interview? First of all, you know what I mean? Like, I definitely think like there's other people that have, that's better than me, and like, there's always somebody going to be better than you. But I think like, just like I've never really talked about my work either to anybody. I just do it. I honestly, like when I post, I just schedule it and put my phone away. It's not for you. It's for me. I love the work. Here it is. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. It's different talking about it with my friends and my partner, and but this is completely different. Talking to you about it is very different. But yeah, like I'm glad I came, to be honest.
It's so good to hear that. I feel like as much as you going to strangers back then and like asking them for a picture, that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah. Okay.
And we never know. In 5 years, 10 years, who know how far it's gonna be at that time. So that's the same thing. At the end of the interview, I like asking 5 questions. If you could choose to shoot one person, anyone, who would it be?
Tyler, the Creator. I've always loved his work, his music, but visually, no one compares to him visually. I've always loved the color palette of his work. Seeing him perform like a couple years back was like so crazy to me and my friend. We went to go and bought tickets, but he's very good visually. He knows what he wants. His music videos are crazy of every single part of it, and he's very conceptual. He's very inspiring to me, and honestly, he's helped out a couple of my projects. Like just listening to a couple of his albums has inspired at least one of my projects in the very beginning of everything. Yeah, and I hope I get to do it soon.
The best street neighborhood in Toronto for an outdoor photo shoot.
Ooh. I work really well at the Junction, right?
Yeah.
I like that area a lot.
Close to High Park.
Yeah,
right?
Just by Hyde Park. Yeah, exactly. There's also Kensington Market. I'm very familiar with the place. Little Italy as well. I need to venture out to like East End more, and I've been there, like just driving through there and like commuting there is one thing, and like you just see all of the cultures, but I've never really done work over there.
The camera that you won't let anyone borrow.
Oh, my personal camera, the Mamiya RB67. You could probably put a picture of it or something. It's an old 90s camera. I would like to buy another camera, but it works great for me, and I learned how to shoot film on that camera. It's one of those cameras where even if it breaks, and even if I don't want to fix it, I'm going to keep it. If I'm going to let somebody borrow it, I'll probably have to be there. You know what I mean? Like, you can use it, but I want to see it. I need to be there.
Yeah. What's the best moment you ever captured?
I would say is that it would be that proposal. That's one of like, it was a very big deal for me. And I did mention to the couple, I'm like, hey, maybe if you could call me for your wedding, at least the reception. Honestly, just to complete, like, for me, that would be like another trilogy. Dating, the proposal, the wedding, that would be like it for me. Let me know how much that plate is. I'll pay for the sake of, capturing, even just the reception.
What's your dream collaboration?
Honestly, a clothing brand, Amy Leon Dior. I think I'd really do really well with them. I don't even have to shoot anything, like even just creative directing something, or like a release for them. That'd be like so great. I would love to do something for Prada because I love Prada.
Oh, you shot a fashion show, I believe.
Yeah, so that was actually like the first gallery technically that I had. That was just a friend's event. Me and my friend had an agreement that I can shoot like behind the scenes, so I was allowed in the basement where everybody was getting ready.
You're definitely one of the first artists I met and like I worked with in Toronto.
I remember those days.
And now
we're
living one day, and like you're the last artist I work with. So that's kind of crazy. I'm so grateful for this interview. I feel like you were amazing on the interview, talking about yourself.
Thank you for having me here. For giving me a platform where I can geek out about my work and talk about the people I love.
I love that. Miguel's Instagram is going to be in the comment section if you want to go check it out. If you want to see his work, reach out to him, book your session. Definitely go for it right now before it's too late.
Price might go up, so.
Yeah, there we go.
So Atlanta, be ready.
I love that.
Storm coming.
We're coming, Atlanta. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
It was great. We close this up. It's 9:24. Bedtime.
Yep.